Well, 2001, that's when you first start in Vegas
Yeah, it is.
in terms of your residency,
Yeah,
which never ended.
right.
Like at the time, you're 46 years old. Did you think, okay, I'm about to be here for the rest of my life?
Oh, no, 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 no. Vegas was a real temporary thing for us. We thought we'd only be doing a month a year, maybe, and then tour around. And then, I mean, it's, everything's tied in with minutia, right? That was when TSA kicked in. That was, right after 9/11. And the way Teller and I were touring became a little more difficult because you add, and I know this sounds trivial, but it isn't. It's my life. We were adding another hour in every airport. So getting up an hour earlier every morning. I mean, it sounds like nothing, right? But you do that 7 days a week and you do that for 3 months, it gets old. It adds up to the amount of time you're doing. So Teller and I were a little less interested in touring, and the Rio was selling really well, and we just kept doing more and more and more. And I want to say we have a very odd residency because we play whatever we play. I don't know what the deal is, but it's something like 42 or something weeks a year. But the rest of the time, we just toured. We just did a long tour in Australia. We'll be doing England, and we play all over the U.S. because I actually love playing Vegas, and I also love being on the road. As a matter of fact, I think Keith Richards, Billy Gibbons, and me are the three people in the world that actually like being on the road, and eventually that will be the band. Billy Gibbons, Keith Richards, and me. But everybody else kind of complains about being on the road, and I don't know. All things considered, I kind of dig it.
Well, I actually looked it up. So Penn and Teller have performed over 8,000 live shows. That's more than the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Elvis, and the Clash combined.
Yes, it is. By a lot. We do a lot of shows.
That's crazy. 8,000 live shows. And you're still doing them.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
I'll be doing one tomorrow night in Philadelphia.
I mean, was there like a year that you could look at that you just made the most amount of money in your career? Was this like one year where you're like, wow, like we just murdered it this year?
I'm sure there was, and I'm sure we didn't notice.
Okay.
I would be the last one to ask about that. I pay, as a matter of fact, this is not in any way being shy. If you asked me how much money I made last year, I have no idea. I signed my tax return and that's it. I know that my children are cared for, my wife is cared for, my family's cared for, and I know that we're doing very, very well. I saw the magazine that talked about us being, second and third most successful magicians in history, and but I don't really know the amounts. That whole thing. I just had a discussion with a friend of mine who's wicked, wicked rich, and he said, you cannot accomplish anything without goals. And I said, well, speak for yourself. Because I don't really have, people say to me, what's the one place in the world you guys have wanted to play that you never played? And I go, I don't know. When I played the Hammersmith Apollo in London, and I walked on that stage at the Clash, I played a zillion times. Dylan, it's where Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars was shot. It's where the Beatles played the most, outside of the Cavern Club. I walked out on stage there, and I guess that was some sort of amorphous dream that I got to fulfill. I remember there was a bit we were doing in the show. I play upright bass, I play jazz, and but like everybody my age, I can play a little guitar. So there was one bit we wrote that was me playing guitar, doing like a talking blues behind Teller while he did some card stuff. Pretty funny bit. But we were going to go to Hammersmith Apollo. I said, we're doing that bit. I'd like to do that bit, Teller. And he's like, well, I don't know. We haven't done it for a while, and why would that fit in with his tour? And I went, because I'll be playing guitar on stage at the Hammersmith Apollo, and that's all I want to do. And I went out on stage, and I played a chord on the guitar and said, y'all think you're going to be seeing a magic trick, but the truth is, I'm Joe Strummer. And, just strumming that guitar, to make a little bit of just strum that guitar, hear it in the Hammersmith Apollo, which sounds so beautiful. It sounds like rock and roll, The room sounds like rock and roll. And then hear my voice, and I'm not singing, my voice on top of that. It was a pretty beautiful thing. So maybe to translate then, on stage then, at the Hammersmith Apollo was like, geez, fuck, we're really here. And I remember being backstage, and the stairs in the back of the Hammersmith Apollo are the stairs that the Beatles run down in A Hard Day's Night. They say, we're out, right? And it's maybe Ticket to Ride. They kick open the doors, they run down those stairs. And those stairs are the back of the Hammersmith Apollo. And Teller and I we really follow Bob Dylan, Don't Look Back. And we are not overly sentimental. We're not very nostalgic. And Teller and I also don't hang around very much. But I said to Teller, listen, Teller, man, we got to do this. We got to go up to the top, and we got to go out that door. So, Teller and I, back of the Hammersmith Apollo, we kick open that back door. I said, we're out. And then Teller and I walked down those stairs that the Beatles walked down in Hard Day's Night. And that might have been a time that I just went, hey, all right.